ナードホールズ、ケイレブとウィル、ドラゴンボールを視聴。
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Nerd Holes Dragon Ball Rewatch, guys. This is episode 12. We've been doing Dragon Ball review for a year.
Yeah,
And we've officially hit our halfway point in the episodes.
it's true.
So that is pretty crazy. And you already told me earlier, like by the end of this year, we'll be starting Dragon Ball Z. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm excited for that. DBZ for Canadian friends.
We're Canadians.
Just a little side thing. It's funny. I was looking at like learning how to use like ZBrush the other day,
Oh yeah,
like 3D
oh.
modeling and sculpting. But I was listening to a British guy explain it, and he's like, "Oh yeah, so I'll just do this, and I go over to ZBrush." I was like, "What the heck is ZBrush? Is that like a different app?" No, no, it's not. It's just so funny. Isn't that funny? Like how
ZBrush.
that's like the one letter in there. Like they're like, you know what? Let's have this one letter be like a word, not just a letter.
No,
ZBrush.
it
That's
does
pretty
sound
fun.
better.
It does. It sounds cooler. Yeah.
Yeah,
I always thought it was cool when um they would use it for like zombies.
yeah,
And they would call them Zeds.
yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Start calling him G.
Anyway, we're not talking about that. We're not
Absolutely.
talking about Dragon Ball Z. We're talking about Dragon Ball.
OG.
Yeah, so we are finishing this week, this month. We are finishing the Boba saga. So that is cool. We are watching um episode 77 to episode 83. So we talked about a little bit on Wikipedia. They claim that 83 starts season 7, and on a different list I sent you, they say 84 starts season 7. But we both watched 83, so we're just gonna talk about 83.
Yeah,
Yeah, like you said, we were watching it, and there's like a very small reference to Baba running into Goku and saying like, "Hey, how was your past 3 years?" And that was the time jump, so didn't really notice.
Episode 83.
Yeah, all right, so let's just do what we always do here. Let's run down the list. So episode 77 was Pilaf's Tactics. So you remember that episode?
I do. I do remember that episode. It was okay. I didn't dislike it, and I didn't really enjoy it, but it was okay.
Yeah. Well, you like those guys, so
I do like him. No, and I did like that he got shoes clothes and continued to wear shoes
oh yeah,
clothes.
that's pretty sweet, right?
Yeah, which was pretty
Yeah.
cool. And I
Oh,
obviously
the
I like the suits. I like them, but like it just was very
that's the episode where they like they like blow off his Goku's pants, right? And he
yeah,
has to fight him.
yeah,
Oh man, that's good stuff.
yeah. It's not I didn't dislike it. It just was I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wasn't as
it's just
rewarding
more.
as I was hoping it was gonna be with Pilaf and everything.
Well, that's kind of the thing. Pilaf always thinks he's a one step ahead, and he gets beat pretty badly, and just gives him basically just gives him the Dragon Ball.
Yeah, true.
But that was pretty funny though. Did you probably did not expect Goku to take shoes clothes?
No, not at all.
It's funny how good it looks on him too, right?
Yeah, true. Yeah, no, I didn't expect that to happen. And then he just has those the entire time.
Yeah, I know he's still wearing them. Oh man, that's pretty funny. Yeah, so there's not too much in that episode. It's basically just Goku getting the Dragon Ball from Pilaf
Yeah, but then like going
out of
back
his.
and telling them and taking like I think it just ends with him going back to Baba's place to pick up Upa, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think he picked
Um,
up Upa at the end of it. He might. I just don't remember.
don't remember. No, 78, he goes back.
Okay. He picks him up then. Yeah.
Yeah. So episode 78, The Eternal Dragon Rises. Yeah, Goku goes back to Baba's place. Gets Upa, and I remember too, like Krillin and Yamcha wanted to go, and everybody like just stayed on.
Yeah.
Uh, they just stayed there.
Yeah, he just basically gets on the Nimbus and just hauls it to the back to the tower, Corin's tower.
Yeah, that's a pretty good episode.
It easily in the stretch is probably my favorite episode.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah.
a cool episode. You can see the dragon.
Yeah.
Bora comes back.
Well, I like it because it is like practically almost 20 episodes later
Hmm.
and then Bora comes back.
Yeah,
Like Bora is killed and then a long time goes by and like in in the sense of like how many episodes it takes for him to just bring him back,
yeah,
pretty.
yeah. Goku had to go through a lot to get the balls together, you know?
And it was very satisfying because that's typically not how any of the show goes. Usually
Hmm.
like within maybe like 15 episodes something is resolved, maybe like at the most, but most, like it was a very long storyline that I really enjoyed because when it originally happened, um, when they originally introduced Bora and then Tao killed him, and then it led to this like, well, I'll also get all of the other Dragon Balls and I'll climb Korin Tower and all of this stuff because of everything.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed the writing of it all. I enjoyed the writers coming up with the idea that like this would be the thing that's going to like perpetuate like pretty much like why he gets like why the wish is going to happen with the Dragon Balls, how he gets stronger, climbing the tower,
yeah,
like just literally everything.
yeah, yeah. That's whole storytelling is pretty great.
Yeah,
Like from the very beginning of that to, basically Goku looking for the Dragon Balls to now he's trying to help
right.
Upa and Bora, and now he's like decided that he's gonna
Yeah,
get all the Dragon Balls to help Upa, you know?
yeah.
It's a pretty
No,
great like round.
it was easily my favorite of the stretch.
Yeah. The part of that episode that I thought was really cool is like since this is the second time now Goku has seen the dragon,
Did
he
he?
knew
Okay.
he knew that the balls would scatter.
Oh yeah,
So he like watches to see like where the fourth star is, and he
yeah,
jumps up and
yeah,
grabs it.
yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool.
It was really cool. I couldn't remember though if he was knocked out when the dragon was first there. I couldn't remember
I don't remember. I thought he
because
saw it through the wall of the tower. Or he
okay.
blast that hole in the tower.
Well, he turns into the monkey and then like passes out, and then they wish for the underwear. So it's like I don't remember if Goku was like awake from
No,
when the dragon came. I just don't remember.
I remember Goku trying to blast a hole in the wall so they could get out to the dragon,
Okay,
and Oolong and Poor flew out of the hole to
okay.
distract Pilaf. So I'm sure Goku saw through the wall.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it's very likely. I just don't
Yeah.
remember. You know.
Yeah, it's been a while since that was
We'll have to go back and
that was
watch.
almost a year ago.
Yeah, like we'll have to go back and watch whatever it is, episode 2 of our podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, so that episode ends too with him going back to Baba's
Yeah,
palace to see everybody.
yeah, and then
And
Roshi's.
Master Roshi tells him
Yeah,
like, "Hey, so if you want to train more, don't use Nimbus."
which I thought was a cool.
It's cool. It's a cool like plot device that they kind of take away
Yeah,
though, you know.
yeah, and it also makes sense. It's like Roshi's like, there's nothing really else I can train. I can like teach
Yeah,
you.
what am I gonna do? You've done
So
everything it took me years to accomplish.
right. So it's
You
just
beat
like,
everybody at Bora's palace. You climbed Corrin's tower. You took on mercenary
yeah,
Tao. It's like yeah, you're pretty
right.
much good. He defeated the entire Red Ribbon Army by himself. It's like, what? I don't, what do you, yeah, move that boulder, I guess. I don't
Yeah, yeah. That was really funny how it all. I
Yeah.
don't know. I just really enjoyed it. I thought it was cool.
But I like that. I like Goku being on foot,
Yeah,
just running around.
I always enjoy the anime decision. I always enjoy it because he's like, no, using the Nimbus, and like, and then go Krillin and Yamcha are like, oh, what? Like just like, I always love that kind of like when they
It's,
overreact to things. It's really funny.
yeah. And the other funny thing too is like, we'll get to it, but in, episode 83, when he's trying to get to the tournament, it like still never crosses his mind to be like, I could probably use the Nimbus for this to
Oh,
get across the ocean. No, I'll
never.
just swim across the ocean. I'll just swim across the ocean, brother. Uh,
Oh no, yeah.
okay. So episode 79, Terror and Plague.
Hmm.
This was a fun episode, I thought.
Yeah.
Um, so it says Goku's traveling. Sees a girl about to be eaten by a tiger monster, of course.
Yep.
And she was looking for the tiger guy to like help protect her village from these two dudes called Terror and Plague.
Like, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So they have to like feed and give tribute to these two guys, or they use
It's
this weird bottle
they
thing.
get sucked into a gourd.
Yeah, that's right. It was a gourd. They were like, and if we say your name and you don't say here, then the bottle like takes your essence or your whole being or something,
Seems like your whole body, right? Yeah.
and then it turns into liquid, and then they drink it to gain their power. I guess that's how
Yep.
that works.
Yep.
Cool, cool. So
Terror and
even
plague.
so so even like Goku knowing that, you know, he knows all that information, and they're like, "Hey, what's your name?" And he's like, "Oh, it's Goku." Oh, okay. And then they use it, and he gets sucked in
Yeah.
the bottle. I just love that too when it's something that's like so dangerous, and all these people have been so afraid of it for so long, and Goku like just runs straight headfirst in the situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even when it's in like the worst possible spot, when he's like sucked in the bottle, and he's got like the power pole like
Yeah.
holding between the inside, and he's just
Yeah.
hanging there, and he's like, I wonder why these guys, I wonder why they're like this.
Yeah. Yeah. It was. I really enjoyed this episode. Like,
Yeah,
if it
that's
wasn't
pretty
for the
fun.
fact of Bora being brought back, like this
Yeah.
probably would have maybe have been my other favorite, most favorite. And
Yeah.
it's weird because it's like, why? But
It's a fun episode.
I don't know. Yeah, there was something about it that like I guess I liked the randomness of it, and I liked the whole like like side quest kind of feel to it, where he was
Yeah.
like doing something and then got caught off guard. And like I think too, again, it goes back to the writing. Like it felt very like it felt made sense. Like he was
Mhm.
hungry, he paused, he hears the people. I forget what the girl's name is, but he hears her and the
Mm.
tiger guy like yelling at each other, and then he investigates, and then like that leads to him going to the town. Like it all made sense. A great part was when the tiger guy is about to eat the girl, and then he's like, and then the rice balls like go over to Goku, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Hey, hold on a second." He's like, "Can I eat these?"
Yep.
And she's like, "Yeah." And then he eats them. He's like, "Wow, that was great." And it's just like, it's really funny too, and I think you can probably agree with is like, I don't know about the last one, but after the Eternal Dragon rises and like before Papaya there,
Hmm.
like a lot of the stuff in between, he's like constantly hungry. A
Yeah.
lot of it is like
Starving.
revolves around him being like hungry and stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's not on the Nimbus anymore.
Right.
So he's
Yeah.
starving all the time. The other thing too I thought was cool is this section here, they kind of make Goku less oblivious to stuff,
Yeah. Yeah. He's
right?
definitely
Because
not. Yeah.
he's more like world experienced, and he kind
Yeah.
of understands now like people aren't always nice to everybody, and
Right. Right.
so he starts to pick up on stuff, you know.
He totally
Like he
still
jumps
kind of
into
like,
like fights. I mean,
yeah.
he's stupid about stuff, but if he sees
Yeah.
somebody getting beat up, he's gonna jump in immediately, not just be like, "Hey, what's going on? What are you
Why
guys
are you
doing?"
hugging each other? Right. Yeah.
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 So I think that's fun too, seeing him get a little bit more like he's gonna
Yeah.
rush
Absolutely.
in and help people now, like
Yeah.
quicker. Yeah.
And it
So
really,
I
I think
like
too, it
that.
really surprised me too, because I thought he was going to beat up these guys and then he was going to eat the feast, like the tribute. But then those guys still show up and eat the tribute and are real jerks and everything. And
Yep.
then on top of it, when they get sucked into the gourd, you're like, oh wow, like, and then I'm like, well, what's going to happen here? There's going to be in the gourd, and then nope, they come back out and now they're like working the farms and stuff. And
Yeah.
I was just like, what a like twist! Like, I don't know. I just
Yeah.
like a lot of it I didn't see coming.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
That's the thing about Goku is that he has kind of that ability to like make enemies friends and help
true.
people in situations and make these bad guys become
Yeah,
like
it was a good
reformed,
episode.
you know?
Yeah, it was a good episode.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was kind of fun. They kind of get what they deserve at the end, you know? They
Hmm.
It was so funny when they get like sucked into the gourd.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I was scared of the dark. These big tough guys are scared of the
Yeah.
dark.
Well, I think too, isn't it the end when they're like raking, like working on the field, and they're like, "And you're going to do this." And he's like, and then they stop, and they're like, "Yes, yes, we're going to do that right away." And then there's like they plow, and they're like, "And then you're going to go and you're going to pick up all these things." He's like, "Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Yes, we are." I'm just like, it's just made me laugh. I don't know.
Yeah, it was funny. That's a good episode. So, episode 80, Goku versus Sky Dragon. This was another episode I enjoyed too, actually.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Yeah.
Um, so what happens in this episode? He finds that guy in town. Oh yeah. So that Jackie Chan lookalike guy, basically.
Oh yeah.
He kind of looked like he reminded me of Jackie Chan. Um, yeah, he's looking for everybody saying that this guy's like super strong, this Sky Dragon guy, so he goes to like fight him. That's a continual thing, right? Is he's always looking for a strong dude to like fight to see if he's stronger or not.
Yeah.
So he goes into this town square. It was cool seeing him in town in like an actual city environment again.
Yeah.
So the guy's name
Yeah. It
is
was cool.
Chin. Chin owns like a dojo, and he's supposed to fight Master Chin's supposed to fight Sky Dragon for like the in this arena in this town for like the right to have like
Like
the
I think
only
just be
dojo in town or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, but also I think it's like the thing where they get a crowned like the best martial art guy like
Yeah.
in the area or like ever or something. I don't think ever because the tournament does that. So maybe just of the area. And then because of that, their dojos get like more attention because, oh, well, so
Yeah.
and so has like the title of being the best kind of thing. I
Right.
think that's what was the purpose of it.
Yep. Yeah, and it was the tournament for the king specifically who was going to grant
Yeah,
one of them.
right.
The interesting thing, right, is that Chin is like super sick
Yeah, yeah.
and needs medicine.
Yeah,
So
there was a
Goku like goes to get medicine, and they're like, "Don't, don't fight anybody." And he's like, "Oh, I won't." And of course, he has to run right by like everybody, Sky Dragon and his brother.
yeah. What was his
They're
brother's
all.
name? Yeah, what was his brother's
It was some. It was Dragon. It was Yeah,
name?
what was it?
I can't remember, but he was funny.
Yeah, he was the big dumb idiot,
Big
right?
dumb guy, yeah. But it was but he did stay true to his word because I think when they do meet up with him, like he doesn't fight him, he just kind of gets
No.
punched and stuff. And then he's all
Yeah, that.
like, and I didn't fight them, and then he goes like he's all happy that he didn't fight back kind of thing.
Yeah. The I thought Chin's son was interesting in this episode. He kind of got
Yeah.
the rub, like
Yeah.
he wants to be the one to like help his dad, and he's like, "Oh no, son, you're too weak. You can never do anything."
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this strange boy that just came into town, he's gonna help it. He's gonna fix
He's the
everything.
one.
He's great. He's so great." And it was like, wow, that's
Yeah.
kind of sad.
And then the kid takes it even farther and then gives
He
him a
put
laxative.
laxative,
Is that what
yeah,
it is?
puts
Okay.
laxative and stuff. I love that too because Goku eats like all that food, right? And
Yeah.
kid's like, are you like feeling okay? And he's like, I feel great.
Yeah. And then when they're walking to the thing, he's like, so are you like sick or like, are you? He's just like, no, why do you ask? He's like, no, no reason, just wondering.
Oh man.
Then he's fighting him and he's just like, oh no, my stomach. Yeah. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Yeah,
The
so
thing that I
again,
like, yeah, as I said,
no,
the
go
thing I
ahead.
liked between like Terror and Plague and now Sky Dragon, the thing that I like is like, okay, they're good at it. I mean, all of them are like this too, because then the next guy, and not so much the last, second to last guys, but I like that. Okay, they do their thing. Like Sky Dragon has a move, and the Terror and Plague had like guns
Oh
and
yeah.
a gourd. Like they have special things, and Goku kind of falls prey to it like a little bit, or he gets kind of pushed around. But then eventually, all of a sudden, it's like, well, Goku can do this thing that they can't imagine somebody doing, or didn't
Yeah.
realize this kid could do, and then he's like winning. And I like the fact that when he's fighting people like Mercenary Tao, it makes sense that like he's gonna kind of get his butt kicked. But when
Yeah.
he's fighting like these kind of like run of the mill guys in this town, it's like, wouldn't it make sense that he can kind of beat these guys with one hand tied behind his back kind of thing?
Yeah.
So I like that. They may catch him off guard because it's a new thing he's never seen, like that. Like Sky Dragon was doing like that spinning attack, and
Yeah.
they're just like, "Whoa, what's happening?" kind of thing. But then once he figures it out, he
Hmm.
just kind of. I mean, really, the thing that debilitates him is the laxative. But I
Yeah.
just like that they write it in such a way where it makes it's interesting. I'm glad that not all of these guys just constantly beat him up, and he's like, "Oh gosh," and then he for some lame reason he can beat them. It's always like, no, this kid is like super powerful, so of
Yeah.
course he's gonna kind of beat these guys really easily. So
But what's interesting too is like it doesn't swing in the other direction either. Like I don't feel like every single encounter Goku gets
true,
into, it's just like he's just gonna wipe the floor with these guys because
true,
he's
true,
just
true,
super
true.
strong.
Yeah,
There's certain cases where like he's
yeah,
evenly matched with some of these guys.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
I
that's
agree.
interesting too. It's a really great balance of like
It
he's
is.
not too strong, he's not too weak. It's great.
Yeah.
And this episode, just like the last one, ends with like Sky Dragging having like Goku's respect, and now he's
Oh
gonna
yeah,
train
yeah,
at like Chin's dojo, and it's like
yeah,
this. The whole village kind of comes together, and he leaves the place better than he found it. That's kind of the thing.
right, right. Yeah,
So I
yeah.
like that. I think that's
Me
fun.
too.
This one takes a weird turn. This
certainly
one
did.
is Goku goes to Demon Land.
Yeah.
So there's like this castle out in the middle of nowhere, and this girl gets kidnapped.
Yeah.
Somehow there is a open portal
Yeah.
to where all these demons, gremlin things live, and they
Yeah.
just freely come into town at night. And
Just do
everybody's
whatever they
like,
want.
"Hey,
Yeah.
this is really bad, but we can't like close it because this sword is stuck in the door."
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah, so Goku goes in there to save the king's daughter there,
Yeah.
Princess Misa,
Yeah. It
who
was,
like the bad guy is going to like marry, of course, because
of
why
course. Yeah.
wouldn't he?
Because, yeah. It's all bad guys want to do when they're from
It was funny
other,
that you have all these like little goblin dudes, and then like the people in charge are like just they look like wood elves,
yeah, like elves. And then you just
and
had
the
that, whatever that huge guy was. He was like, even he was different than
yeah,
the rest of them. He was like a Frankenstein's monster kind of guy.
yeah. So Shula was the main guy in
Shula. That's
charge.
right. Shula.
Yeah, but
So
what
it,
was the girl? I like
Melee,
the girl. She was cool.
Melee.
Yeah,
And then the big guy's name he had a name too, and I don't remember it.
yeah. And they're like, "Hey, you can't get through here without a pass." And he's like, "I don't care about a pass. I'm gonna go beat the crap out of Sula."
Shula.
And they're like, are you serious? Are you seriously gonna go do that?" It's like, yeah. Well, right this way
Yeah, that was
then.
pretty funny. Yeah. I think if it was just a normal episode, it would have been fine. But because it was like kind of out of its mind, and I
Yeah,
didn't really understand like where it was going and really like what it implies for the entire Dragon Ball like universe,
that doesn't. Yeah, don't think
I
about
was
it
like,
because
is there a gateway to like other dimensions? And
the thing that
I
you
was
have to remember about the Dragon Ball universe is that there are dinosaurs, and the president of the Earth is like a blue dog guy. So
cool.
that's what you need to know. Then, so this stuff right here, this is doesn't. This is just normal stuff here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
At
think
the
this
end of
is.
it, I just kind of thought, I don't think this is like a dimension to Demon Land.
No, it's just. It's just.
I think it's a weird creature portal that they just think is a portal, like a gateway to that stuff. Because
Yeah,
it
and
just
obviously,
doesn't
it's just one of those things where, like, if people don't know what things are, they're just gonna call them demons.
right.
It's like a very old timey thing, like
Yeah.
these monsters are like, well, they're just demons.
Because they really don't
No.
the show really doesn't like in this episode, it doesn't really hammer in any of like any religious things into it. It's just like these are monsters, and you're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So that big
But
dude's name was Gola.
Golem, yes.
Gola and Mela.
Gola, that's right. Gola. Yeah, okay.
And
Gola.
melee, yeah.
Melee. Yeah.
Like hand-to-hand combat.
So I didn't like the king in this episode. I just didn't like
Yeah, it
him.
was a tool.
Yeah.
The
But
queen has
again,
like 2 lines, so that's
yeah.
good.
But again, when he goes to meet or goes to fight Shula, because the first thing he's like, they send him the big beefy guy in an underwear thing, like the weird monster
Oh
guy.
yeah.
And then Shula comes down, and I liked it because Shula had that cool arm attack thing, and
Yeah,
he
the
was
arm cannon thing.
and he had something else. He was doing something else to him, and I just liked that. Again, like Goku gets kind of the upper hand a little bit, and then gets it knocked down. Like the battle doesn't feel, you know, it's weird. If he was a normal thing, I would like the battle, but because they're implying that this Shula guy is supposed to be something not
Yeah.
just an average person, I was kind of like, it's kind of weird that he kind of gets beat up by Goku and then is like, well, that's strange.
It's funny too because like they're implying that like this is just like a portal, an area that like demons live, but also like there are occasions in Dragon Ball where like they do specifically show like hell, and it's
Right.
like completely different, and it's like I don't understand.
Right.
I don't understand how any of that stuff works.
Nope.
But I thought their fight was fun, and
Yeah.
Goku uses the Kamehameha for the first time this
Mm-hmm.
section, and then he basically just like blasts him against the wall, and then he runs out of there with Misa.
Yeah, she's like, wow, I can't believe it, blah blah blah. You're so powerful. And he's like, well, I just figured with a guy who just lives in a cave and just doesn't never goes outside a lot, it would not be really he wouldn't do
He's
well
never
with
seen
light.
he's never seen light. Oh man, that was funny. Yeah, which is funny for Goku using like reasoning skills,
You're right.
and then he pulls the sword out, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought that
Yeah.
was cool.
And
It
then
was
they and
also
then they
cool
put
too that like
and they yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
the king and queen like keep it like on the
Yeah, that's yeah.
like it was their accomplishment.
I was like, why would you keep it? But I guess you don't want it to go back there. But I was like, it's so weird that they put it on display like this is the thing that almost ruined everything.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We remember how we fixed it? We fixed it by letting that kid do it.
We did this. Yeah. Yeah. It was an
And
okay episode. I didn't love it, but it also wasn't terrible. So
yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
it wasn't as to me, it wasn't as strong as Terror and Plague and Sky Dragon one. That
Yeah, I was
was
just kind of crazy, It was
yeah.
just kind of like, hey, let's go like nuts with this episode. It's almost like the episode where they go to Penguin Island, but like the opposite.
Yeah. I also really enjoyed the old lady in the beginning of this one, and I
Oh
think
yeah.
this one where she's like, "Oh, do you see that over there?" And he's like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh,
Don't
you
call for
got
that. The
it."
whole town around is full of demons. It's like,
Yeah,
wow, really? Yeah. Well,
because
anyway,
right,
here's some
because
rice
what
balls.
I think it's even remember because he like bumps into this old lady like four times, right? Because there's the one where he falls into the valley and he picks out the clothes and he goes and she's
Oh,
like, "Oh, thank you so
is
much,"
it?
and then he's like, "Do you know?" And he
Do you
talks to her
think
and
it's
she
the
tells.
same? You think it's the same lady?
Well, it's probably not, but she's
It's
very
just funny
close.
that
He
he
goes,
keeps bumping into old people.
I think she tells him to keep following the river and he'll get to the city where Sky Dragon is. And then
Yeah.
he's on the path, and then she's like, "Do you see that castle over there?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, well," it's like I don't know. It's just really funny. It was an old lady again.
Yes, this is the one too. I forgot we didn't talk about, it, but like in the very beginning when he runs into that old lady, he's walking on his hands
Oh
and
yeah,
he's carrying a tree around his waist,
is he?
like
Is
he's
this a store
dragging
where
this
he's
tree.
dragging tree? Okay,
Yeah, because when he gets to this village where the castle is,
oh
everybody's
yeah,
like hiding from him, and remember the
yes,
guy's looking out there, he's like, "Oh, it's some kind of there's another demon attack," and it's like this kid walking on his hands, and then the wife looks out there, and it's just Goku standing up normally, and then he looks again, and he's like, "You're out!" He throws the tree, and he's like, "Oh
yeah,
my God!"
yeah. She's like, I think you need to get your eyesight checked, and then he goes back to look, and he's like, "Arr." Yeah, that was
Because
good.
even in the beginning when he runs into the old lady, she's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm just training," and
Yeah,
he's pulling this tree and walking on his hands.
yeah,
That was
that's
pretty
right. I
funny.
forgot that that was happening. Yeah,
Yeah. Because I think in the other episode he was walking on his hands, and now in this one
he's
he's
almost like
dragging
walking
a
on two
tree.
fingers, right?
Yeah, it's yeah, fingers. It's ridiculous.
Remember that too in the other episode, the one with Terror and Plague episode where he gets the girl on his back and he's like running and then they fall off
Oh yeah.
the cliff, like the edge of the cliff, and he's like, ah, and then he lands on the rock and he's like, oh, okay. And he's like, where do we go? And then she's like, through the woods here. And then he's like, okay. And she's like, well, you just found a shortcut. He was just like, oh, okay. Just yeah. That made
Yeah,
me
he
laugh.
does that all the time. He like jumps off of stuff just because he knows he's gonna grab a tree or something.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay, so the next episode, 82, the Rampage Ibino Shukocho
In a Shikacho.
In a Shukacho. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
This is a fun episode too, I
It
thought.
was fun. Yeah. It was
You get
really
a little
fun.
bit of backstory that's gonna
Yeah.
kind of come up, in the tournament
Yep.
saga, which is
I
fun.
can imagine.
Master
Since they
Roshi's going
introduced
through
these
the
guys and
book.
then we're like, see you later.
Yeah. I like that Master Roshi's going through his old photo album.
Yeah,
It's like, oh yeah,
Bulma's
we used to be best friends. And he
Yeah.
had this cool Inuyashukacho guy. Oh, cool.
Yeah. I forgot. We were talking about it earlier, but I forgot that Chase, he shows the album to
Yeah.
Bulma. And then Bulma's like, oh, wow, who's this guy? And he's like, it's me. And she's like, oh, but he has hair. And he's like, I wasn't born bald. And he's all angry. But he shows he's showing the pictures, and there's the guy at the end of the
Hmm.
papaya episode is in this picture. I forget what his
Yes.
name is, but yeah,
Yeah.
he says what his name is in the episode.
What the heck is it? It says so Roshi's the turtle hermit and the other guy is the crane hermit.
Maybe it was Crane. Maybe that's what he calls him. I thought it was a C name.
Yeah, I think he has an actual name too though, but I'm not seeing it. But yeah, again, it's one of these things, right, where oh yeah, Master Roshi knows all about it. Like they grew up friends and now they haven't talked in years and now it's gonna be like a thing that Goku's gonna have to deal with.
Yeah, yeah.
Just like, you find out like from Korin, like, oh yeah, Master Roshi was the first one to make it up here.
Oh yeah.
And then you get to Baba's like, yeah, that's my sister. It's like, why don't you tell anybody about anything before we do it?
Nah.
You know?
Yeah, because he also is like, I mean, until it goes on, you don't until you realize that the butterfly pig reindeer thing um is like a pet or whatever of them.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I hope he's not near civilization at all. He's so
Yeah.
violent. And I'm
Yeah,
just
he's
like,
rampaging through the town.
okay, like why would you not take care of this, Roshi?
Too busy looking at magazines on the island.
Yeah, clearly.
But Goku saves those people. Remember they're in that runaway
Yeah,
thing in the very
in the
beginning, and he
car.
uses
Yeah.
that bamboo to like stop their
Oh, yeah,
bike.
yeah, yeah. It was
He's like,
funny.
"What's going on?" They're like, "Oh, that monster Inuyashukacho's destroying the village."
Oh,
He's like, "Oh, is he strong?" They're like, "Yeah, cool. Well, see you later."
really? Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. So I know Tien and Chao from Dragon Ball Z, but I do not
Okay.
remember this first time meeting where they're like using Inishikucho to like destroy the town. They're like, oh, basically they come in as like witchers and they're like, we'll destroy the monster for 10,000, 100,000 zenny.
Yeah,
And they're
yeah.
like, oh, perfect, perfect. And they're like, all right. And then they go to like the next village and they do it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it was so funny. And Goku finds him because like he smells food and he's like, oh, you guys are eating corn together?
Oh, you just eating a whole bunch of corn? Yeah.
Like, oh, you guys are friends now? That's cool. And they're like, oh, we're gonna have to kill you now that you know our secret. He's like, what secret? You guys like
Yeah.
corn? I don't.
Yeah. Yeah, that was funny.
And then the
And I
villagers like
like too that
immediately
that
turn on
guy,
him.
the three I liked though. I liked that the three-eyed guy had that. I mean, it backfired on him, but I liked that he was like, well, he's like, if we were working together with this thing, like, would we do this thing? And he starts to like burn it, well, cook it or whatever.
Yeah,
And then he's like, whoever saves it is obviously like involved. And I was like, that's a
that's pretty good.
pretty,
It's evil, but that's pretty good.
yeah, it's evil, but yeah,
Yeah, and Goku being who he is, he's not gonna let somebody get hurt just because of that.
right, right, exactly, yeah,
So he saves him.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's cool that he was portrayed as like this. Even Roshi, you know, gives you this
Yeah,
backstory. And then come to find out he's not like that. He's like being used.
right, right.
So yeah, it's a fun episode, I
It
thought.
is a fun
He
episode.
he saves the Inuyashukacho and brings him to the village and
Yeah, yeah.
gets them all healed up.
They chase him. I like that they chase him and they surround him
Yeah.
in that canyon, and then the other
Yeah.
two. No, wait, wait. Yeah, I always like that. I love how they draw the like overweight old men in this show, like how they act
Yeah.
them. They're always like, no, no, no. Would you like some noodles? They're always just
Yeah.
really funny. I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Uh, oh, that's the thing too, is so that's how that fight ends at the campfire that night is that tree falls on Goku.
Oh wow, yeah, yes,
And they're just like, well, he's dead. Let's continue on. They just
yeah,
leave
yeah,
him.
yeah,
But then he
yeah.
wakes up in that girl's house.
Yeah. Um,
She takes care of him and realizes that like those guys are scamming the villagers.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he goes to the next village, and then those people in the car show up again. Remember?
Yeah. Like, we moved to this town and now Minyashuko Show just keeps chasing us.
Yeah.
That car thing was interesting to me too. It was basically like a trailer thing full of all their stuff.
Oh
And they
yeah, yeah.
sat on it, and then the thing that drove was like an old like tractor with like the
Yes.
handlebar and one wheel that like is what they steered with. It was like a gas powered
Yeah.
tractor wheel. It was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And they finally fixed their brakes the second time. You see that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Goku runs into him again.
I thought this time I think it's this episode, I thought the baby was gonna be that like smart baby from the other anime. I was like, is this baby gonna be that smart baby that can like put things together with its mind from the other anime? And I was like, no, no, it's not gonna be.
It's funny too because the two guys you're talking about they have completely like different voices than I remember too.
Oh,
I think the white faced little guy, I think he has a
yeah.
higher pitched voice in Dragon Ball Z.
Yes. Oh, does he? Oh, okay. He
Yeah.
doesn't this. He has like a higher pitched voice.
Yeah, but it's not.
Oh, it's different.
It's
I
a
see.
lot. It's a lot higher.
Oh, okay. Is it
And
like
then
more like bar?
yeah,
Gotcha.
and then Tien has like a really dark, like gruffled voice in this episode. Like, look at what they did to the village. That's not
Well,
well because he's bad, and then when he turns, good, he talks differently.
maybe in the subsequent saga they'll have different voices maybe because
Yeah, maybe.
but yeah, overall it was like it was an okay episode. It
Yeah,
was
it's
fun
fun.
and I did enjoy it.
I like that they introduce these two guys, and you think they're just like throwaway bad guys, but then they come back,
Yeah.
and I think that's cool. I think that's a cool like way to meet them, and then be like, oh yeah, they were going to the tournament. That's all they were talking about. And he was like, oh, I'm going to the tournament. Yeah. So let's see. So then episode 83, which way to Papaya Island?
Yeah.
Now, what do you think about this episode, brother?
Well, brother, I think it stinks. I think it stinks.
Think?
I did not enjoy it.
No. Okay. Good.
I think that's why I kind of spaced on it and didn't catch the 3 years. I like so without I know we're still talking about this episode, but like for whatever reason, other than Pilov's tactics, like the first one, like it was fine. I didn't dislike it. It just was like eh. But literally from the Bora episode to the Inashikacho episode, I was like, I really like it. That's almost my most favorite run outside of the tournament. I don't
That's
know
cool.
why, but I really, really enjoyed it.
That's really cool that you like this, like the filler stuff. I think that's cool
Yeah,
because you're getting to see Goku experience life and like have his own personal journey without people, and I think that's cool. I think that's
yeah,
fun.
yeah. I don't know. I really super enjoyed it, and then we got to this one, and I was still like excited to watch it, and then I was like, oh, I don't like this. I was like, no, I don't enjoy. I don't enjoy this.
It's kind of yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of a crazy episode. It's let's just sort of summarize it. So it's basically the same thing we've been talking about. You know, Goku saves this guy. Turns out he's kind of bad, but then helps him become a better person by the end of the thing. And
Yeah. Then he's not really good, and he is bad, but then he's kind of good. It's like, oh, okay.
yeah, I mean, he's being set up by those goons, you know,
Right, right.
and those guys even make reference to him being, you know, like he's been trying to get out of that gang for a while or something, right? Because they're like,
Yeah,
oh yeah,
yeah,
if he wants to go straight, this will be your last job.
yeah.
But yeah, so it's just them in the city, and he's like, all right, so if you want to get to Papaya Island, you gotta take this plane.
Yeah, at the very end, yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, cool. I've never I'd like to go on a plane." I was like, he didn't remember he flew the first time he went to the tournament, I guess. But
Yeah, right, right.
and he's like, "All right, so hand over your money for the tickets." And he's like, "I don't have money."
You don't have
And he
money.
says, "How have you been traveling without food and, you know, money?" And he's like, or no, he says, "How have
That's
you been
yeah.
eating and sleeping without money?" And he's like, "Why would I need money to eat and sleep?"
Yeah.
Like,
The guy's like, whoa. Yeah.
which is just such a funny like
Yeah.
context of like how, you know, everybody where
I
everything
just
revolves around money,
like
but Goku's
right.
like, oh, I just take a nap in a tree and I'll eat an apple I find in a tree. And
Right, right.
what do you mean? Why would I need money for those things? Why would I need money to
Yeah.
sleep? That's such a funny.
Did this episode too, did I miss too that this episode explains that the tournament is on like a ship?
No, it's on an island. So the
Okay.
ship that you see is like all these dudes going to the
Oh, going
tournament,
to the island.
like training while they're
Um,
still
okay.
like on their way over.
So they are going to Papaya Island. It's just the
It's the
boat is
same. I'm pretty
gotcha.
sure it's the same tournament,
Okay.
the same arena that we've seen before. I think it's
Okay.
just on an island now. Because remember, they fly the first time from
Yeah. Yeah.
Roshi's Island. They go from Roshi's Island to like the city, and then they fly to the
And
tournament.
I honestly, I really liked the fact that like when they're going back, that like Krillin and Yamcha minus the hat, like
Oh yeah,
are dressed the same. There's like nice
they're wearing their
business.
suits. Yeah.
I was like, well, that's cool. And also when they cut to them, one of the episodes they cut to them and they're hiding from the dinosaur.
Oh, they were training. Yeah, they were carrying
And
the
you see
milk.
like the turtle shell on them and stuff. I
Yeah.
was like, I think even Bar had it too. I don't remember, but
Yeah, they were doing what Goku and Krillin did. They're
yeah,
bringing
I
the milk to
really, really
everybody.
enjoyed it. I really, really enjoyed it.
And they're like, I hope Goku's training is going better. And Krillin's like, I'm sure he's in the middle of something awful. And they like pan back to him just eating a feast at like the king's house.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I like that too. I like seeing Yamcha and Krillin training
Yeah.
together on the island. There's that one shot where Bulma's like, shouldn't you be like, are you, if you're training them, or shouldn't you be like telling them what to
Oh
do?
yeah.
And he's like, no, my job is just to tell them what to do, and they do it. And they're
Yeah.
over by the ocean.
Yeah, he says something like it's their job to sweat and it's my job to train
Make
them
them
or
sweat,
something.
yeah.
Something. Yeah, he says something. Yeah. He's
Yeah,
funny.
that's pretty cool. It's cool that they're all on the island. I like that. I like Bulma and Yamcha and Krillin and
Yeah.
launching
Yeah, the
all
launch
being
thing was
together.
funny when Roshi first comes out.
Oh, when he makes like he's trying to make food and he makes
That's
all
the
that
fun.
like burnt seeds or whatever it
Yeah.
is.
And he's trying to tickle her nose with the branch like behind her back. And she's like, what's happening? Why, like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, nothing, nothing. And then she throws all the food on him and he's like, thank you so much. Thank you.
He
Yeah, that
gives that
was
little apron. Oh my,
yeah.
I like
Yeah.
it. Yeah, you know, launch is basically just used for like comedic effect now, but it's still I find it
Yeah, it's
to
still
be
funny.
funny. I like when they're finally leaving and they're like, "All right, are you sure you don't want to come launch?" And she's like, "Oh no, the city air is bad for my sinuses," and she sneezes immediately.
Yeah.
She's like, "What are you trying to leave the island without me?" And they're like, "Well, you just said that you didn't."
Yeah.
You
Yep.
just, yeah, I'm coming to the city.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, It's
It's
funny too. We didn't talk about the villager. It's so funny to me that like Goku is his kid, he's his child. And
okay.
when those villagers found out that like they thought that he's the one that was friends, they're like, all right, shoot him. And everybody's like,
Oh,
blah, blah, blah.
yes, yes.
The show does not shy away from them
No,
like shooting at children.
no, not at all. Yeah, but in a Shikacho, he steps in front of the bullets, doesn't he?
He's
Pretty
bulletproof,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, he steps in front. He protects Goku.
Yep. Yeah, because even in the very beginning of that episode when the he's rampaging through the village, those two guys like line up and they start shooting at him and you see the bullets just bouncing off his
Yeah,
hide.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so Goku meets this green fox guy and he's
Yeah.
very annoying.
Yep.
I kind of like him, but he is annoying. They keep saying brother the whole episode, and it's just
Yeah.
like it's just so overplayed, you know.
Yes.
He's like, I don't think you should call me brother anymore.
Okay,
Even
brother.
Bob was like, what's with all this brother stuff?
Yeah.
Uh, what was his name? Kankichi? Kankichi.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, I like the fact that he was talking to like an animal person because usually he's talking to other like humans and
mhm.
stuff. So I like that. I like that. You know.
I like that he made money in the city by winning that carnival game very easily.
Oh,
He's like,
yes.
cha. And the thing goes like off the thing. He's like, that's impossible. I rigged it myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what's funny is he reminds me of the fox from Zootopia.
Oh,
Nick,
wow.
a little bit, you know. He's like
Yeah.
this con, bumps into those people who steal their tickets.
That's where Zootopia got it from.
Probably stole it. Disney. They stole it from
Stole
Akira.
it.
Sons up. I thought it was funny that he stole the tickets from the people, and then he bumped into the cop, and he was like, "Oh, somebody dropped these tickets right here,"
Oh,
and he was
yes.
like, "Oh, what a nice young man." And then like after he was like, "Oh, where'd he go?" And he's like, I wonder if he's the one that
Hmm.
actually stole the tickets." And then later on, they like confront him, and he's like, "I didn't do it. It was mine." He's like, and that cop just randomly like
Just
shows up and is like,
randomly
"You're gonna
appear.
stand there and tell me you didn't steal those tickets from those people?" And it's like, how did you put that together? What are you talking about?
It was very random. It was very, very random.
And it's funny that the cops in the show are always like have these like Canadian.
Yeah. Yes.
It
Yeah.
was like, oh, watch where you're going there, buddy. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, you
Oh,
all right there, sir? Oh, this nice young man. He found your tickets right here on the floor. Why are they always?
I don't know.
Oh,
They're North Dakotan, Canadian, Minnesotan. Yeah, they're all like,
oh,
oh,
watch
don't
where
you
you're
know?
going there, buddy.
Yeah.
So that is fun. He decides he's going to go to school and be a teacher. And I like that though. And the kid comes over and gives him the lollipop because he was sad,
Oh,
like
yeah.
he did.
Yes.
It was
Yes.
funny. But then it
Yeah.
ends with like them just holding hands and like the mother is nowhere to be found.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
I
like
know.
what?
I know. I was like, what? What?
What?
Like, what are you doing? What are you
And
doing,
Goku's
Goku?
like,
Don't
all
leave the
right, I'm gonna swim.
don't
I'll
leave
see
the
you
kid
later.
and the fox alone. Like, don't. I'm his father. Yeah.
And he's like, all right, see you later, brother. And he like jumps in the water, and the guy's like, brother. He called me brother again.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Goku. I'm gonna do everything. I'm gonna change my life. I'm gonna make
Yeah.
sure everything's
Yeah.
better for the rest of my life.
Everything will be better. Yeah, I know. And he's just
Yeah.
swimming to the island there. And Baba's
Yep.
like, it's way over
On
there.
the other
And he's
side
like,
of the
no
world. And he's
problem.
like, all right. Yeah, so that again, that's another funny thing, right? Because like we were talking about earlier, like this is technically the first episode of season 7, but this is the last time we see Baba. And it's like,
Oh,
well, there you go. That's the last. She shows
yeah.
up at the very
It
end and
definitely
she's like, all
feels like
right, have fun at the
that's
tournament.
including her, right? Yeah.
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 How funny did you expect that? Like when that big Cadillac rolls up and she's like, "Oh, is that you, Goku?" And you're like, "Who the heck is this?" And then it like shows it's Baba.
Yeah, no, I didn't think she was going to
She's
show up
just
again.
I don't know what she's doing in the city. So funny.
Maybe she's going to the carnival.
She's probably going to the tournament. Yeah, so that is it.
Yeah,
That
that
is
was
the
our stretch.
end of the Baba saga. So
Babaza.
next month we will start the Tien Shinhan saga, and it appears it's going to be nothing but tournament for a little bit.
Yeah, I assumed we're doing like 84 to 92 is what I assumed.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yep, yep, yep. So
Rivals
that'll
and
be
arrivals, and
yeah,
Goku enters the ring, goes to that stretch.
yeah.
Cool.
So that's gonna be fun. So that to me sounds like the last episode we watched is like when Goku finally starts the tournament. Like you're gonna see Yamcha and
Yeah,
everybody fighting first and Krillin and stuff. So that's cool. I think we're even gonna see Jackie Chun again, if I'm not
probably.
mistaken.
I would assume.
Jackie Chun's gotta compete, you know?
Yeah. But Yamcha will be fighting this time, did he? Because he didn't fight the first time, right? I don't think so.
He did.
Oh, he
He
did. Okay.
lost he lost to Jackie Chun.
Oh, yes, yes,
And
yes,
then
yes, yes.
Krillin
Yeah.
lost
And
to
then I
Jackie
went
Chun.
like this, but I
I went
saw
like
that
this.
coming, so then I came
Yeah,
at him.
right. So Yamcha lost to Jackie Chun, then Krillin fought Jackie Chun and lost, and then Goku was the last to fight him.
Yeah.
I think, if I remember
I saw his hand coming, so I spit on it.
right. I think in this stretch too, I think even Goku and Krillin get scheduled to fight with each other, which is a
Hmm.
great episode.
Cool.
You kind of get to see like how great their training has been. They get to kind of spar with each other. All right. Well, so completing another season means it's time for you to gather all 7 of your Dragon Balls and make your wish for season 7. So, for the 1-star Dragon Ball, what was your most favorite character in this section? Or this
So,
whole, yeah, that's
so I'm
right, because we did
doing
the whole
so I'm doing
chapter.
60, 69 to 83, right?
That sounds right.
Okay. So who's my least favorite character in that stretch? My
Most
least
favorite.
Oh, most favorite, excuse me. Whoa. Whoa.
Most. Oh, no, you're right. Most forgettable.
Okay, so most forgettable character in this all big stretch that we've been doing.
Yeah,
Um,
Bora.
no, not boy. No. Um,
I mean, technically, he gets his butt handed to him, and then he doesn't show back up for 20 episodes.
true, but no, no, no.
No,
I
I never
remember.
forgot. I never forgot.
I never forgot him.
I was saying, when are they going to get the balls to bring back Bora?
When are they going to bring them back? It
I like how he
has.
puts his hand through the dirt, too, like, "Ah, air." Like he comes back like a zombie.
Yeah. It it has to be. It's somebody in her tournament, and it's got to be the.
Hmm. Bang.
I think it's got to be the Invisible Man thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I liked some of the stuff they did with him, like with the crushing of the grass and like listening
Hmm.
for him. But like when I try to think of the Bob him, I think it's like my point is I think he fights Yamcha,
Yeah.
and it's like I can kind of barely remember the fight other than those couple things. So
Fights Yamcha, and then Roshi sprays nose blood all over him.
yes, yes, that's right.
Yeah. So yeah,
So
it's pretty forgettable.
yeah. The only reason I remember the other guy, Fang, is because Krillin has that bandage on his head for like ever. So every time you see him, you're like, oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah, it's really funny that like Fang is the first fighter and then the Invisible Guy is like second. And it's like, why was he second?
Yeah.
He wasn't better.
No.
And then like immediately the third fighter's just like, okay, now you're gonna fight over this pit of boiling acid. And you're on this tiny little platform. It's like, this is like
Yeah.
way more menacing than the first two.
Yeah.
This is like, and there's two more after this, and this is round three.
Yep.
Jeez,
What's happening?
I'll just go find the money and pay you for your services. I mean, my God, this is like life and death.
Yeah. Yeah. And she's like, yeah, it's in a car. It's moving in a car. Oh, okay,
Yeah,
thanks.
cool. Oh my God, that's funny. All right, so the two-star Dragon Ball is your favorite character in this section.
Um, well, hmm, that's tough. I really enjoy Goku in the latest stretch. I really enjoy
Yeah.
his character and how he goes through that. But it feels like that's a easy answer, but I think that's just what I'm gonna say. I don't think I've ever picked Goku, and I think in the stretch,
Hmm.
he's easily probably been
Yeah.
the one I've been more invested in his character and trying to pay attention more to him than like when other characters show up and I'm like, oh, he's cool, and then he only gets like two
Hmm.
episodes.
Well, he
It-
does a lot in this season.
yeah,
He's not really part of a group the whole time.
right,
He defeats the entire Red Ribbon saga alone.
right.
Or that was that was
That was
last season.
last time.
But he
Well, he
yeah,
meets
I
like
mean
his
other than yeah, he meets his grandpa
yeah,
again. Other than the Baba stuff, the tournament, he's with everybody. But after that, it's like he goes on his own to get the
right,
last ball and brings
right,
Upa. Then he goes on his
yeah,
own journey like by himself. So he's pretty much, alone, which is cool.
right, yeah,
Yeah. Well, that's a good answer. I like that.
yeah,
I can agree with that. He's the most prominent character in this season.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. So for the 3-star, what's your MVP?
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
To
That's
me, it's either Roshi again because of the whole Nimbus thing and like taking it away from him and like helping him go on his own adventures, and he goes into these like really fun offshoot kind of mission adventures,
mhm.
or it's his grandpa like coming
Mm,
back and like kind of giving him like the like I'm okay, don't worry about me kind of thing. Like that also was very satisfying.
yeah.
Because the
Oh,
type
that's a
of
good.
thing where if he showed up and was like, it's awful, it's like it may have conflicted him to not bring back Bora, like he would might have wanted to bring back his grandfather.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's hard because it's like I feel like it's Roshi because he's training Yamcha and Krillin for the tournament, which we're gonna get into next stretch. And he told Goku to take away the Nimbus, and it may be kind of lame for people who really like Dragon Ball, but like I really enjoyed the solo missions. And if it
Mhm.
wasn't for Roshi taking away the Nimbus, like that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, that's true. I like
Yeah.
that. And the only reason Roshi's training Yamcha is because Bulma is on the island.
Yeah, yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Um, all right. So for the 4-star, what was the best fight?
Oof.
Yeah, you actually had a few this section.
Mm-hmm. It's gotta be Goku versus Gohan.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that was a pretty good fight.
Just because he was so Goku was like it's like the only one he was evenly matched, right? Like he didn't technically beat up Gohan. Gohan just like forfeited.
Yeah, right.
I really liked him against Terror and Plague and Sky Dragon. Like I really liked those battles. But I think the Gohan, I think it's just more satisfying in the sense of like what it ends up being, like who the masked man ends up being, and
Yeah.
also like what it ends up doing for Goku. Like I don't know, just kind of like settles a lot of hardship, I think, in his heart and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I think so too. And it's a more fun fight too. They fight
yeah,
in the sky and
right.
they both use the Kamehameha.
And he literally bashes him until his tail rips off. It's pretty intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. We didn't really see him training his tail in this arc though, did we?
No, he literally is falling and then his tail grabs a branch and he's like, "Oh, I guess my tail grew back just in time." Like that's literally what happens.
Yeah. Because that's what Gohan told him, like make sure you train your tail so it's not your weak point anymore.
Right, right.
And then we never saw him do that. So
Nope.
should have
Well,
been
in the
pulling that
three
tree.
years. Yeah,
Well, yeah, should have been pulling that tree with his tail or something.
true.
Interesting. All right, so for the 5-star, who was your most hated character?
Oh man, who did I not like? That's rough. I didn't like the king, and I didn't like the green wolf fox
Green
guy.
Fox guy, yeah.
I also kind of didn't like Baba.
Yeah.
Um,
I hate the mummy guy.
um, man, I'm gonna have to say the green fox guy.
Hmm.
I forget what his name is.
Um, Inoshi, heck was
Something
his
like
name?
that.
I just was saying it. Oh, thanks, Wikipedia, for going all the way to the bottom. 83, 83. Kenkichi.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's it.
I don't.
Hate him, huh? Hate him.
I didn't like him. I really didn't like him.
Yeah.
I almost picked the king from that episode, but
He was
he
an
ends up
idiot.
being kind of okay at the end of the episode.
Yeah. After everything worked out for him and he didn't have to do anything.
And it's tough because like I also really didn't like Terror and Plague, but like they end up being I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, but the Kenkichi is a good answer because he's a character that you're not supposed to hate, you know?
Yeah.
Terror and Plague, like you're not supposed to like those guys. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
so having a character that it's supposed to be like a funny character that you just don't like
Right, right, right.
is kind of the point.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. He did get annoying. The overuse of brother, saying brother constantly
Yeah.
was like, okay, we get it.
We get it.
We get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's wrong, brother?
Listen here, brother. Yeah.
Brother. Whatever. All right, so for the 6-star Dragon Ball, it's the funniest line or scene.
There was one part, I don't remember what episode it was, but they were all like, all these guys are gonna fight, and then they're like, "Go, leave," and then as they're walking by, it's like, "Well, I don't know." They're all like talking. They're all like, "Well, I don't really get it. I don't really understand. Like, why is he so like?" They're all like walking away. They're all saying random things that made me laugh. But I don't remember the episode. Um, um,
The part where he was like, terror, plague, plague, terror, terror, terror,
yeah,
plague,
that was
plague,
pretty good. Yeah,
terror.
yeah, yeah, that was pretty good. I also like at the end when they're plowing and they're getting like yelled at. I think it's got to be that. I know it's kind of like maybe a little lame, but it did make me laugh when their Terror and Plague are working the farm field, and then they're like, and then you're gonna take all this plant and you're gonna bring all it over here and bring it over here. I guess I guess we are. Like that made I don't know. I laughed when that happens. Just them standing at attention and like being funny about it. That made me
Yeah.
laugh.
No, I like that. That is funny. That was a funny episode. It was a funny episode. Even the beginning when, you know, that tiger guy's like, I'm gonna
It's like
eat you. I'm gonna eat you
yeah,
alive. And Goku's like, are these your rice balls?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Can I have
yeah.
them? Like, yeah. Oh, thank you so much.
Even there's a really terrible scene in there, and I was just like, wow, is the scene where they're going through the book and they're like, whatever, they're saying all the names, and then they're like, and then I don't remember which one the redhead's name was. Was he Plague? I can't remember.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's
Yes,
like,
because Terror was like the big bad guy.
okay, and he's like, what's that right there, you ma'am? And it's
Oh,
like
the
the
baby.
baby, and it's like, oh well, it's a baby, and it's like, what's his name? And it's like, he's just a baby, and it's like, what's his name though? Tell me his name. And it's like, no, he's just a little baby, and they're like, tell me his
Yeah, you
name.
know he can't answer. You know he can't answer.
And then they tell him whatever it is, like something, and then he's like, okay, and they're like, he's like, no, it's okay.
Yeah.
I don't expect it to say its name right now, but when we get to it, and I was just like, oh wow. That
Yeah,
part.
and he even kind of gives you like this like false sense of
Yeah.
like security too, where he was like,
Yeah.
he's like, I'm not gonna do anything. I'm not gonna hurt the baby as
Right.
long as he says his name.
Right.
I was like,
Right.
Jesus.
Yeah, that part. That part too got me. Yeah.
I'm not doing anything. But the gold needs the name.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
no, dude,
Exactly.
take a chill pill, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also like too that part of the episode too where he's like, Terror's like, yeah, I'm not really too impressed. And Plague jumps up and he's like, yeah, the food is disgusting. It's not to our liking. It's not, it's this. And Terror's like, no, the food's delicious. It's just not enough of it. Not enough. He's like, oh, yes, that's what I was going to say. Not enough of it.
Yeah.
Very low tribute this month.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
bunch of idiots.
Also the shooting of the gun like every time he's talking. Yeah.
Like how they come rolling up like they're in like, Mad
Yeah.
Max doing
Mad
a little
Max, yeah.
bike sidecar. You don't look menacing if you're sitting in a sidecar.
No.
Just throwing it out there. That doesn't intimidate me.
No.
If you're riding in a sidecar.
But they got that magic gourd, so
Yeah. Yeah, pretty stupid. Oh boy. That was a pretty funny episode. All right, so for your 7-star Dragon Ball, what is your favorite episode?
oh man, I
That
don't want
is
to
gonna
just say
be
Terror and Plague
Terror and
because
Plague.
but gosh, I think it's Terror and Plague. I really enjoyed it. I don't know why. I like the Inashika show one. I like it. That one was pretty okay, and I like the Sky Dragon one.
Yeah.
No, you know what? No, no. My favorite episode is the Eternal Dragon Rises. That's easy.
Okay.
Bringing Bora back was hands down my favorite episode.
Good. That's
I
cool.
forget that I sometimes my brain thinks like we're talking about the latest, but it's for everything.
know.
So it's 100% Eternal Dragon Rises. Absolutely. Yep.
Well, it's a weird thing too. Like even when we were first starting talking about it this morning,
Yeah.
um, it's such a weird transition between like
Yes.
the end of the Baba, like
Yeah.
showing him where the Dragon Ball is to like him saving Bora, and then from that it's like immediately just crazy.
Yeah.
And you forget that like that's even in this like
In the
chunk.
stretch. Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
But it
Yeah.
is.
Like the whole thing, like you said, like talking to Upa and like having the thing, and he brings back Bora, and then they're happy, and Bora isn't like a. I kind of thought they were going to do something weird where Bora was going to come back, like not know who Upa was, or just something weird, just something kind of
Like
heartbreaking.
some
Where
Pet
like,
Cemetery
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah. Where I don't know, like the dragon brings him
Yeah.
back, but like he's not really
Yeah.
Bora, you know.
He starts chopping down the tower.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and you kind of get the thing where it's like Upa says he's gonna climb Corn Tower when he's ready, and the dragon talks a little bit more, which is cool. And then like
Yeah, it
he
was
sits
cool. Speak
down.
up, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's all right. I'll tell him. He's like, no, it's my father. I'll tell him. Um, Dragon could
Yeah. And I liked it too. Yeah.
meow.
He catches sight of the four far star one and then jumps up and grabs it. And I was
That's
like, oh
cool, man.
wow. And then also I like it too because of continuity. Like when he shows him the thing, it's a stone. I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, good. It's like I like, just that
Yeah.
they follow through on stuff.
Yep. Takes a year for it to turn gold.
Yeah. So the interesting thing is, um, now it's been 3 years. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
technically there's been one, like 2 years, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know how that, I don't know what the math works, but basically there's been a couple of years where people could have collected Dragon Balls and wished for things. So,
Oh, well, that just shows you how bad Pilaf really is.
because he's not running the world,
Even the past 2 years when Goku has not been
hunting them.
hunting him. Well, but here's the thing. He's always has the
Oh,
4 star.
but he
So
has the 4 star ball. Yeah, that's true. I
yeah.
didn't even think about
So
that. Yeah.
so he's
So it
gonna be
means
the
nothing's
last
happened.
stop. Yeah.
Hmm.
So Goku's gonna be the last stop if anybody's looking for the balls.
That's interesting. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
That's
I
a good
think
point.
that continues. I think that continues him having the 4 star for a long time.
Cool. Cool, cool,
Yeah.
cool.
So that's cool. Right. That's a good like safety. It's a reminder of his
Yeah,
grandpa, but it's also like a good safety net to make sure like nobody can collect all of them.
yeah,
Because even if Pilaf gets all, 6, and it's like, well,
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we should build another mech suit to get the ball from Goku. Like,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I don't know. Pilaf is such a funny character too. It's like, why don't you just like become like a mayor of a town? I don't understand.
Right.
Like that's all he wants is to be like in
He had that
charge.
cute castle in the big first couple stretch. Like, why just go back to doing whatever?
I don't know what he does. I don't know how he has money. I don't know how he. I don't know. I don't know what he does.
Nobody does.
It's funny. Nobody, yeah, funny. All right, so for your wish for season 7, what
So
is your wish?
speak up. I
Speak your wish to the eternal dragon.
I think so. I would like to see like him go Super Saiyan, but I don't think that's going to happen in this series. So,
No, no.
um,
Mm-mm. That's gonna be a long time. You know how when I always say like, "Hey, I can't wait to watch Lower Decks," and you're like, "Yeah, that'll be years. That'll be years from
yeah, yeah.
now."
I think well, I don't know if I already said this in another one, but I would like him to know that he's a Saiyan. I don't think
Hmm.
they've covered that in the show.
No, nope. That won't be for a while
Okay,
either.
then I
At
won't
least
ask you.
not that I remember. All right, so the first season of Dragon Ball Z is called the Saiyan Saga. So
Got it.
That's when
So,
you learn about that stuff.
well then, okay. So here's the thing that I've thought about, and I'm like, why not? And I keep wondering about it. So what I want to see from Goku is I want to see, and I might have said this in another episode, I want to see Goku do the Dodon Ray.
Oh.
It's been one of the few things that he's come across that he got hurt with, and it's a power, and he hasn't replicated it.
Hmm.
Because like everything else, he sees the after image, he sees like this, he sees that he does it himself, and that's been the one thing he hasn't done that yet. Unless the Dodon Ray is supposed to be like super evil move, but
I don't know. Yeah, that's true. He does have a tendency of replicating
like powers and moves that he sees. Yeah.
yeah.
So I've been kind of surprised that he hasn't done it, or at least
I
whatever
I feel like the Dodon rate is like a kill shot.
kill thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's been on my mind, so I guess I just would like to see. I guess if that's like a bad, if it's a bad thing where it kills people, then I would just like to see Goku like have a new ability set kind of thing, like he does it because
Yeah.
he has After Image and he has the Kamehameha Wave and he has a couple other things, and I'd like to see like kind of a brand new take on something interesting.
Yeah, that would be cool. Have him learn a new move or something.
Yeah, I don't really want to see the ape again, but that's always fun.
Yeah.
So I think I'm
Yeah,
going
it's
to
one of
stick
those things
with
where it's fun, but
learning a new move.
it gets overused. You don't want to overuse it, you know?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well,
So
cool.
probably
I like
I
that.
think I asked for it in another episode, but it's okay. I still want it.
Him learning a new move.
Yeah.
Well, he did learn a new move this he learned run
It's very true.
because he couldn't fly. So he had to learn how to run everywhere.
It's true. He hasn't. Well, I know that's probably in the Dragon Ball Z, but he also hasn't flown
No, he
either,
has
which
not
is
flown yet. Yeah. I know there's a couple things that's like pretty standard that I'm
yeah.
waiting to see, when those things come through, like flying and um
The other one too, I
yeah.
really like. I know it from Dragon Ball, but I'm always like, man, if he's so hungry, why doesn't he go get those
Oh, sensu beans.
sensu beans? Yeah.
Sensu beans. Yeah, because Corn gave him one.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
really enjoy
usually
sensu beans.
yeah. Yeah, because like going forward, they like carry like four in a pouch,
Yeah.
and they only use them when they get their butts whooped.
Yeah.
But even like Krillin has a couple like special attacks that
Yeah.
um I wonder when he develops those.
In the tournament.
Yeah, maybe when his life is on the line, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. He shoots lasers out of his head tattoo.
Oh yeah. I think that's a move that everybody uses later on, but it's actually Tien's move.
Mmm.
And we'll see that in the tournament. That won't be good.
Look at that. Look at
Yeah.
that.
That'll be fun. All right, cool. Well, there you have it. Another section gone.
Mm. Excellent.
Cool. So yeah, so next month we will be starting the Tien Shinhan and we'll be getting into some tournament.
Yeah.
Getting back to some tournament stuff.
Pretty crazy, right?
That'll be fun.
That'll be officially our like film to date 1 year when we
Yeah.
go to do that. Yeah. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, I know. Pretty nuts. Pretty nuts.
That's a lot of nuts.
That's a lot. Cool. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us down this Dragon Ball rewatch memory lane. It's been pretty fun. There's a lot of
Yeah.
stuff. It's cool to like Will's been enjoying it, and there's also a lot of stuff for like me as like the DBZ fan that like I'm seeing a lot of stuff that I don't remember. So it's been pretty fun
Hmm.
watching all this stuff. A lot of main cast members, obviously that we
Yeah.
meet in the show. So that's cool.
Yeah. Write your Dragon Ball name in the comment below, and then we'll put it in our magical nerd hole gourd.
Yeah. What is your name?
Yeah.
Tony.
Don't it?
What's your name? Ezekiel.
Yeah. Don't you
That's,
say it.
don't you dare say it. That's basically what that episode was.
Yeah.
What is his name?
Yeah.
What,
What is she proposing?
what is she proposing? Oh my God, that's funny.
Yeah.
Great, 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 great. Well,
Great. Yeah.
I don't push anything on in the Dragon Ball episodes. I'd let the Dragon Ball episodes be the Dragon Ball episodes, but we got some cool stuff coming down the pipe for the nerd holes. So
Right.
stay
Right.
tuned. Stay tuned.
That's right.
So yeah. And if you like, let's see, what else do we do? If you like Star Trek, you can go to Will's channel
True.
where we cover weekly Trek. Right now we're doing the animated series, so that's kind of similar.
Yeah.
It's just like Dragon Ball,
Exactly like Dragon Ball.
drawn with a pencil.
And somebody always learns the value of not fighting.
Of hard work.
Yeah.
And they become friends with Kirk at the end.
Always.
Just picture now, I'm
They're
just
never
picturing Kirk.
abandoned on dead stars, right? And
No,
just left to rot.
I'm just picturing Kirk getting in like this, like really bad situation. He's like, well, Ka me. Yeah.
There'd be a good drawing is having Goku and Kirk like struggling like in the show, like the Gorn, but it's Goku. That'd be a good.
I think a good picture would be like Kirk shooting like a phaser and Goku, and it's
Yeah.
like Goku's like Kamehameha blast, and it's just like
Oh
hitting each other, and they're like, wow.
yeah. But Kirk's gonna have his shirt ripped open from the heat of
Well,
the
yeah,
Mayo blast, right? Yeah.
they both have their
Yeah.
both have their nipples out.
Yeah. Perfect.
That'll be cool. Sweet. Well,
So if you like nipples out, stay tuned for more Dragon Ball and come over to my channel. We can talk about Star Trek.
yeah. Great. All right. Well, that'll wrap us up. But we'll see you guys next month.
No.
See you next month on the Dragon Ball
See ya
rewatch.
next.
Be as free as you can be, a childlike love of fantasy. The world is a mystery for you and me. A miracle, an adventure to a single wish waits for you. The beating of your heart will see you through. When you think you can't go on, give it another try. The power of your youth is strong and as big as the sky. Search all over the valley, the mountains, and you'll see